Shalom from a little coffee and a lot of Yahuwah. We are going to look at part 2 on evolution. Starting right away with the terminology, the way that evolutionists speak. They have got a certain lingo, the way they say things to convince man that this is the only way it can be. So they use phrases such as we all know, by this we know, as we all understand, as intelligent people, we know now. With scientific advances, we now understand, etc. Those are the type of phrases that they would use to give you and me the confidence in them, but also we don't want to look uneducated that we don't understand it. So it's a bit of wordplay. In this section coming now, I will be using some more quotes from other people, and some clever people, scientists, etc., to prove the point of the evolution impossible to be the truth. Evolution is a religion. It is something that people believe in, and they tend to say that with the Big Bang theory, it proves creation wrong. On the contrary, actually, the Big Bang in a significant way confirms creation. The difference is what the Bang was. They believe a collision between planets. Creationists know that it was the word of Yahuwah. Both of these confirm that there was a sudden beginning. Therefore, the Big Bang confirms creation's sudden start or beginning of life as we know it. And we find this in Genesis 1, the creation. The bang that evolutionists refer to is a bang that destroys rather than creates. Has anybody seen a bang or an explosion that creates? Look at what we see on television, the wars. How can that create order? If you take a drinking glass and you drop it on the kitchen floor and it breaks and scatters in hundreds, millions, or thousands of pieces, and we leave it for 1,000,000 years, do you really believe that that is going to all get back together again and create order and another glass being formed? Or, like evolution say, into a better or stronger form by natural selection, maybe it will grow into a beer glass? It is ridiculous. Most, if there are any evolutionists watching this program, would probably say, don't be silly. And you know what? That's exactly what it is. It is silly to believe that disorder or chaos will come into order or produce order. It is impossible for a Big Bang to create life of millions of species, each so unique in its own way. Life forms with eyes. Look at the human eye. How incredible it is. I can close my eyes, I can look outside, and I've got focus straight away if I've got my glasses on. Look at the eyes of a fly or a spider. How complex is that? Your ears, hearing voices, sounds, recognizing it straight away that when it connects with your brain. Smell. How many times have you had it that you drive somewhere and you get a smell and it will suddenly remind you of something? Associating with another event. The tongue, taste, the joy of eating lovely food. How about skin, the touch? If you lie down and somebody tickles your feet, suddenly you react, or somebody pricks you with a pin. How quickly do you react where the message is gone from your foot up to your brain and back to your foot in microseconds? Evolution? Really? Again, I've mentioned before, emotions, love, that incredible power of love, the love I have for my Abba, that cannot be created by evolution, only by Abba. What about the rest of the universe? Look at the sun, a ball of fire that doesn't burn out. When we have a fire over here on Earth, we need oxygen to keep it running. It needs fuel to burn. But that, it just doesn't stop. Perfect. With the moon and the other planets, keeping it in its orbit, hanging on nothing. Each creature brings forth its own kind. Dogs breed dogs, not frogs. Evolution is not specific. It's too general and it has no evidence. There are many so-called theories out there, but that's all they are, theories. Let's look at some quotes of a Professor H.S. Lipson, a professor of physics at the University of Manchester in UK. These are his words. In fact, evolution became, in a sense, a scientific religion. Almost all scientists have accepted it, and many are prepared to bend their observations to fit in with it. In the foreword to Origin of Species, the 100th edition, Sir Arthur Keith admitted, evolution is unproved and is unprovable. We believe it only because the only alternative is special creation, and that is unthinkable. John Wheeler, from Princeton University, a professor of physics. Slight variations in physical laws, such as gravity or electromagnetism, would make life impossible. The necessity to produce life lies at the center of the universe's whole machinery and design. Evolutionists have been unable to answer the question of how life spontaneously arose from dead matter. Sir Fred Hoyle, professor of astronomy at Cambridge University, said of evolution, "The chance that higher life forms might have emerged in this way is comparable to the chance that a tornado sweeping through a junkyard might assemble a Boeing 747 from materials therein." He continued to put it in perspective. The likelihood of the formation of life from inanimate matter is 1 out of 10 to the power of 40,000. This is big enough to bury Darwin and the whole theory of evolution. There was no primeval soup, neither on this planet nor any other. And if the beginnings of life were not random, they must have been the product of purposeful intelligence. That comes from the book of Evolution of Space. Biochemistry professor Michael J. Behe I believe that Darwin's mechanism for evolution doesn't explain much of what is seen under the microscope. Cells are simply too complex to have evolved randomly. Intelligence was required to produce them. Another pain in the side of evolutionists is the Earth's population. Grant R. Jeffrey, the evolutionary scientists who believe that man existed for over 1 million years, have an almost insurmountable problem. Using the assumption of 43 years as an average human generation, the population growth over 1 million years would produce 23,256 consecutive generations. We calculated the expected population by starting with one couple 1 million years ago and used the same assumptions of a 43-year generation and 2.5 children per family. The evolutionary theory of 1 million years of growth would produce trillions times trillions times trillions times trillions of people that should be alive today on our planet. To put this in perspective, this number is vastly greater than the total number of atoms in our vast universe. If mankind had lived on Earth for 1 million years, we should be standing on enormously high mountains of bones from the skeletons of those who have died in the past generations. However, despite the tremendous archaeological and scientific investigation in the last 2 centuries, scientists have not found a fraction of the trillions of skeletons predicted by the theory of evolutionary scientists. Following, I have a list of questions. I'm going to read just a few. It will be on the bottom of this program again, so that you can read through it if you wanted to. But it really is a challenge for the evolutionist. And the questions would be some of them as follows. Where did space for the universe come from? Where did matter come from? Where did the laws of the universe come from? Gravity, inertia, etc. How did matter get so perfectly organized? Where did energy for the energy come from to do all the organizing? When, where, why, and how did life come from dead matter? When, where, why, and how did life learn to reproduce itself? And so on. There are quite a few questions, and you will find them, as I said, added at the end. So, this leaves rather a daunting and a complex emotion of the complexity of creation and the ridiculous attempt of evolution purely by motive of fabrication and lies to attempt its validity. Another skillful deception of the devil to draw mankind into its web of lies. Here is a quote on evolution circular reasoning by Dr. Kent Hovind. At least 6 different radiometric dating methods are available. The assumed age of the sample will dictate which dating method is used, because each will give a different result. For example, when dinosaur bones containing carbon are found, they are not carbon dated because the result would only be of a few thousand years. This would not match with the assumed age based on the geologic column. Scientists use another method of dating to give an age closer to the desired result. All radiometric results that do not match the pre-assigned ages of the geologic column are discarded. As we can see from the above, all research is manipulated to their desired result, and if it does not work, they discard it. Ronald R. West, a PhD, stated, "Contrary to what most scientists write, the fossil record does not support the Darwinian theory of evolution because it is this theory, there are several, which we use to interpret the fossil record. By doing so, we are guilty of circular reasoning if we then say the fossil record supports this theory." Then, one of my favorites, the ever-changing mind of science. An NBC News report in August 1999, according to the Journal of Science, scientists had found what they considered to be proof that life appeared on Earth 2.7 billion years ago, 8 billion years earlier than previously thought. They now admit they were wrong, but with this discovery, they are now sure they have found the truth. Until their next discovery. CBS News reported in October 1999 that discoveries were made of the bones of an unknown animal in Asia that may be as much as 40 million years old. This changed scientific minds as to where man first originated. Scientists once believed that primates evolved in Africa, but now they think they may be wrong, and that man's ancestors may have originated in Asia. So they believe, until their next discovery. USA Today, 21st of March 2001, reported, "Paleontologists have discovered a new skeleton in the closet of human ancestry that is likely to force science to revise, if not scrap, the current theories of human origins." Reuters reported that the discovery left scientists of human evolution confused, saying, "Lucy may not even be a direct human ancestor after all." So much for the science most of mankind relies on. To recap, evolution offers a Darwin theory which he himself discarded as insufficient, a need for a perfect environment for it to evolve, which does not exist, dating methods which is totally inaccurate, scientists which changes their findings and they call it process, evolutionists who claim to have proof of which is non-existent. And we have evolutionists who use an assumption for their long life as baseline to determine the long life of the fossil. What does creation offer? An eyewitness account of over 500 people. Archaeology evidence, manuscripts including recent Dead Sea Scrolls, over 24,000 of them. The scriptures, the Apocrypha, Roman and Greek historian writings, scientific evidence, fulfilled prophecies, and creation itself. Yahuwah says in His Word, "It is better to trust in Yahuwah than to put your confidence in man." That is from Psalm 118 verse 8. Psalm 19 verse 1 says, "The heavens are proclaiming the esteem of El, and the expanse is declaring the work of His hand." Let's see what else Scripture has got to say about evolution. From Proverbs 3 verse 19 and 20. Yahuwah founded the earth by wisdom. He established the heavens by understanding. By His knowledge, the depths were broken up, and the clouds dropped down dew. In 1 Corinthians 15, verse 37 to 41. As to what you sow, you do not sow the body which is to be, but a bare grain. It might be wheat or some other grain. But Elohim gives it a body, as He wishes, and to each seed a body of its own. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one flesh of men, and another flesh of beasts, and another of fish, and another of birds. And there are heavenly bodies and earthly bodies, but the esteem of the heavenly is truly one, and the esteem of the earthly is another. One esteem of the sun, and another esteem of the moon, and another esteem of the stars. For star differs from star in esteem. Clearly, Abba is talking about His creation that He's put together. And I want to just finish off reading from Romans 1 verse 18 to 20. For the wrath of Elohim is revealed from heaven against all wickedness and unrighteousness of men, to suppress the truth in unrighteousness. Because that which is known of Elohim is manifest among them, for Elohim has manifested it to them. For since the creation of the world, His invisible qualities have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, both His everlasting power and mightiness, for them to be without excuse. Man will be without excuse. Shalom from a little coffee and a lot of Yahuwah. Till next time, from Jacob.